Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Princess, SoundCloud, SoundClick, Instagram. I'll be on the gram, TTONE202. And don't forget to check out my album, TONE. And the album name is called Just Right There. So it's Tone, Just Right There. It'll show up on CD Baby, Rhapsody, Spotify, Google, all that. Anyways, this is another excerpt of The NBA is Fixed. And we've been concentrating on like LeBron James and talking about the way he swings and pretty much the way he flip-flops on and off the court. So we're trying to figure out what he's going to do. My neighbors. We're trying to figure out what LeBron is going to do, right? And so I was reading into the early bird contract and the stipulations therein, and I don't have a full grasp of the early bird contracts, but when I just get a summation of it, it looks like LeBron is going to stay in Cleveland, although he doesn't necessarily have to. But here's the thing: when you get in the early bird contract, it's basically it's either two contracts that he's looking at. He's looking at an early bird contract or a one-and-one contract, but there's different amounts of money in each contract. He's looking at having 175% of his contract or 120% of his contract. If you're looking at having, okay, and if he takes 120% of his contract, he's still going to leave like $3.5 million on the table. So he would end up with in between 27 to $30 million in the contract. That's for the year. And so I don't have a full grasp of the contract when I was reading it. I just kind of skimmed over it, trying to get the basic knowledge so I can get on here and you guys can explain to me contractually how the NBA holds a particular marquee player to a team for a substantial amount of time. And I got into it because I was talking about the possibility of LeBron going to a Apex team, and when we're looking at what Kevin Durant did and how the NBA reacted to what he did, there is a lot of backlash because of it. So just to take you back to one of last week's video, where I was talking about Adam Silver, and he said that he was not in favor of what Kevin Durant did because it basically can create a monopoly, is what he's saying. It can create a monopoly, and GSW can pretty much just sweep. And what's to stop them from picking up, other marquee players? Is not that they really need any, but nonetheless, we was looking at the possibility of, LeBron James, which I don't think he would ever go to Golden State, but it's the possibility is what we're talking about. So contractually, LeBron James is only in Cleveland by word. He is not in Cleveland by contract. And that's very important because wherever he goes, the NBA goes. He can swing a championship one way or the other, and we've seen this. We've seen this what he did with Cleveland, and how the NBA channels their energy towards his revenue. We talked about the Nielsen ratings. We talked about the ad revenue. We talked about what each championship game generates. And I heard it's a sum of something like uh, 300 million for each game is what they generate, television commercials, car commercials, and drinks, and sports t-shirts and all the stuff that they sell. So where he goes, so goes the NBA. So that's why the early bird contract and or a regular contract, which he's not, it just doesn't look like he's going to take a regular contract. He's not going to take a 10-year, 5-year contract. What he's going to do is he's going to maximize his income. And we look at what Kevin Durant did. Kevin Durant took 54.3 for 2 years, he won't get 54.3 if he leaves. If he stays for 1 year, I don't know what his contract reads guaranteed, but his upfront money is what we're talking about. If he stays for 1 year, they win. Then he goes back to OKC. He's going to forfeit, or he'll leave money on the table, and that a lot of that ties into the cap that they have. And let's explain the cap. Like, the cap was generated so no team could create a monopoly. So if Kevin Durant decides to stay, and we talked about this also, he has to free up cap space. The same thing with LeBron James going somewhere for a whole year. So let's just say he doesn't take an early bird. Let's just say that LeBron James decides he wants to go to LA. LA has to pay him for, of course, whatever time a contract that he has. But right now, as it stands, he can take an early bird contract with any team. And then we have to look at how that contract is going to be structured. Now, I need help with this because I'm new at this and I just read over it. So I don't mind if somebody says, you're wrong, this is how it goes. This is what I'm looking for, because the more information I have, the better information that I can exhume, that I can relate to you guys who are into the NBA religiously. And I like numbers. I like getting into, especially when it comes to paying. I like getting into the contract. I like to figure out what the lawyers get on an average. I don't want to know what a personal lawyer gets. I want to know what the average is, because it helps us as people who are looking at the game of the NBA as an entity. It helps us get a better understanding of what we hear, and it clarifies us exactly what's going on with the player, and when they move, and or when they don't, we understand, okay, this player, okay, like with the Grizzlies, the guard for the Grizzlies, he just got a 150, I don't know. It was ridiculous. He's a point guard. It's crazy. But we don't know how much of that is his. Uh, I don't know. I think it's over 5 years. But like I said, we don't know how much of it is up front. That's the easy part. But then once you take out your, 35, 36% taxes might be even higher than that. It depends on where you live. But once you take out your government taxes on that, I mean, even if it's 100 million, it knocks you down to what, 60, 64 after that. I'm just saying. And then you take out your lawyer fee, then you take out your MBA fee, so on and so forth. So this is what I'm getting at. I'm not going to keep babbling on, but so let's watch and see what LeBron is going to do, and let's get some information from that, and then it will help us be able to relate more information on what exactly the NBA is doing with their Apex players. It's your boy Tone 202. Don't forget to check my music out. Peace.